viewers, and welcome back to the Self-Made Auto Channel. So I'd say it's high time we start step one with the old Honda here and see if we can figure out what our next plan of attack is going to be, whether it's going to be tearing the engine down, tearing the engine out, tearing the head off to have a look at what we're going to do. I mentioned, like I say in our introductory video, that the car was overheated severely, overhet severely. I don't know which correct. It got hot, we'll say that, and it was driven hot for an extended period of time. Experience tells me that it has a cylinder or cylinders with low contribution or low compression. Frankly, you can hear it when you crank it, which we'll do. I'll crank it up for you so you can hear that. The car does start and run. It does not, blow huge plumes of white smoke out the back, but it misfires. It has, obvious misfire. The engine shakes and runs kind of poopy. So instead of doing a relative compression test, because we have other videos on that, I believe, perhaps on the same engine, I'll link some of those in the description box below if I can find them and put them up there. I think what we're going to have to do is we'll just go old school on this. We'll yank the coils out, we'll see what cylinders are doing what, and then find out where the air is going, see if the engine, if it's intake valve, exhaust valve, or the worst out the crankcase, and then make a plan of attack there. So I charged the battery up on the little guy for us. I foolishly left the key on. Wait for the beeper to quit. See if you can hear this. It's kind of hard to hear because it starts up. Now these don't have clear flood mode, so there's nothing I can do to help you there. I'll try it again. So it does run. Squealing because the battery was dead, and I just threw a huge surface charge on it. You can see it when it cranks, when it first starts. It's jittery, it's hard to hear it. You know what, let's just so you guys can hear it, let's yank the fuse. It's number 6. That's the fuel injection ECU fuse. See if she still cranks. Then maybe you can hear it a little bit better. That's a better demonstration. So when the engine cranks over, you can hear that it's not consistent. And that usually coincides with low compression. As we know, anybody's been following us for very long, like I say, I don't believe it's going to be necessary to do a relative compression test because we can hear it. So let's get this little cover off. We'll yank our coils out. We'll go old school, mechanical gauge, throw it in there, see where things are at, see what kind of blow-by this engine has on it. And like I say, make a decision from there. I'm going to get some cardboard to throw in the trunk because I don't know how long this thing's going to sit tore apart before I get a chance to get back working on it. Worked out good today. It's towards the end of the day now, but I was able to get all my work done, waiting on a transmission to show up for that F350 outside. So it's a good day to start a little job. Go ahead and get our little VTEC cover off here. Pull our coil packs out. Maybe the spark plugs will tell us a little story too. down this road before. Had a Honda coil so bad, it was all swollen up. It was a disaster getting that thing out. Oh, whew, ha! That one wasn't too bad. Let's see why it was stuck. I don't know, maybe just a little corrosion around the top, but yeah, I did this one in this Odyssey with a 3.5. That thing was all puffed up. I literally had to like drill it out of the hole. It was a mess, but got it out. Saved the day. Took me about an hour. I'm gonna crack these loose here. That one's already loose. That one's loose. That one's loose. Now they're all loose. Am I kidding? We ain't gotta crack them loose. They're already loose there, fella. So I bet they're not original then. So here is numero 4, or Quattro, I guess it would be. I don't know, NGK. It's all black, but we just been kind of starting it and shutting it off here, so I'm not too surprised there. Fine wire iridium. This one is also black. Doesn't really look any different. Black. No, it's not running rich or anything, so don't get all excited. This engine's cold. We started it, shut it off, started it, shut it off. That's what happens. So I guess technically it is running rich because it's cold, open loop. Well, I don't see any mechanical damage on it, but, however, so this is from the number 1 cylinder. Probably the camera doesn't pick it up, but the color of the base of this plug is slightly bluish. It's almost like an opal pearl colored compared to the other ones. The further away from the number 1 cylinder we get, a little lighter in color they get. Observation. So I know metal turns that color when it gets hot, real hot. Who knows? Maybe that's just what the color of the plug is. I don't know. Let's grab a flashlight first and foremost and take a little peek in the hole. Make sure I don't see anything obvious like a giant hole in the piston, which I doubt. But then we'll get a compression gauge. Well, I don't see anything that looks too out of the ordinary. We'll start right here in the front. Place your bets. Which one's low, folks? Place your bets. I'm going to guess number 4, number 3. That's my guess. That usually seems to be the ones that get it. Plus, we got a big oil leak over here. I don't know. Just a guess. No wrong answers. Actually, there is, but that's why they call it guessing. All right, let's crank her. All right, going full throttle. Well, that didn't sound too promising, I'm not gonna lie. That's not good at all, is it? Okay, we got this down. I was wrong in my guess. All right, so number 1 is 80 PSI. Number 1, 80 PSI. Who guessed number 1? Anybody? Like I say, judging by cranking it, I don't know, we could have 3 low ones and 1 bad one. I really don't know. That's why relative compression can trick you sometimes because it only checks their relativity to each other. So if you got a 4-cylinder with 4 low, cylinders, low on compression, then your relative compression test will still look good because relative to each other, they are good. Okay, cylinder number 2. Ooh, that's even worse. Yikes. We got 60 PSI. So number 2, 60 PSI. Alrighty. Who guessed cylinder number 2? Not me. Watch, I'm going to guess the only 2 good cylinders. Go cylinder number 3. Let's see what this one has. She sounds like she's hitting a little bit harder. Ooh, still really not that good, is it? We're at 125. Number 3 is 125. And last, but definitely not least, number 4. Well, maybe the least. I guess we can't really say that, can we? Gotta have one good cylinder here, don't we? Ooh, that one sounds the best yet. Hey, look at that little guy. There's our heavy hitter. She creeping up about 175, we'll call it. Nice. Number 4 is at 175. All right, now we know what we're playing with. We got 3 low and our good one's not great. So what we could do, a couple possibilities here, if we had a compression gauge out still, is, you know, number 2 is low. It's what, 60. Number 1's 80, number 3 is 125. So what we could do, you know, is this thing blown between cylinders. Easy enough, you could put your spark plugs back in number 1 and 3. And then, you know, compression gauge number 2, you know, then you got question valve overlap and stuff like that. But what we'll do, because we have the ability to, is we'll just do cylinder leak down tests. And I'm going to do it in all 4 cylinders because I think that's the wisest thing to do, and find out where our compression's going. It can be going out the intake, out the exhaust, or out the crankcase. That's what's next. But that 3 o'clock appointment showed up, so to be continued.